Assalamu alaikum, what's up guys? This is Mustafa Tahir and I am back with another video. In this video we are going to look at how we can integrate the Fluro routing package in our Flutter application. So what is a Fluro routing technique? Basically a Fluro routing is a package which does claim that it provides the flexible routing and the most easiest and convenient package out there. They claim this, and besides this it contains some other properties like the wildcard parameters passing or query string parameters or some other kind of stuff. And the most important one is it requires map of a string and the dynamic parameters to pass a certain argument or arguments. So let's get started how we can integrate this one. So I will use the same technique as I used to do in any of my video. Let's add the Fluro package. For that, in the terminal I will write flutter pub add Fluro. Wait for some time. Now let's create a new file. I will name it as router.dart. So router.dart, we will create a new class here. So this class will be responsible for every navigation we would perform onto our application. Yes, before starting with the router, let's look up to the project structure. So we are having two screens, screen 1 and screen 2 respectively. And on both of the screens we will have an elevated button which we will use to pass through from screen 1 to screen 2. And then as the video goes on we will look how we can pass one parameter, two parameters and a list of different parameters as well. So now let's get to the router class router. Create an instance of Fluro router. For that, Fluro router equals Fluro router. So for every new screen you have to create a handler. So how we can create that? We can simply make use of let's say for screen 1 I can write screen 1 handler. And pass this one handler. Handler requires a handler func parameter. In this we have to pass like build context and for the next parameter we have to define map type string and dynamic. And for params I think I've made a mistake here. Yes, now it's fine. Yes, now it's fine. Here I will return my screen 1. Just like this. Okay, format this this, and yes, now it's looking fine. I will do the same one for screen 2. Screen 2 handler. Screen 2. So we are done with creating the handler. Now we have to define a function that actually initializes these handlers. For that, I will define a function as init routes. Now how do we have to define? We have to simply make use of the instance we created above. Fluro router dot define, and for the route path we are having two screens. So the first screen is the initialization, our first screen. So I will make use of a slash which designates to the screen 1, and we can pass the handler as screen 1 handler. I will do the same for second one as second, and I will pass screen 2 handler. So we are done with the implementation part. Now we have to use these functions once we initialize it on main. So navigate to the main.dart, and before returning the material app, make use of the init state. So I will simply use this file as router. Okay, I think I have to rename this class router Fluro, let's say. Now it will be easier. Router Fluro, yes, dot init routes, and I will comment this home, and instead of this I will define an initial route as this one, which designates to screen 1, and we have to in addition define another thing, which is the route generator. Yes, on generate route, router Fluro dot Fluro router dot generator. Okay, invalid constant value. So we are done with the implementation. Now I will run this app. Okay, okay, so our code ran successfully. So now on the screen 1, I will create an elevated button, and on the text I will write go to second. We need to get rid of constant, yes. And on the on press I will make use of the same approach as we normally do with the routes. So navigator dot push named the context, and remember guys what we wrote here in the router, we have jot down second. So here I will do the same, and once I refresh, now if you click, it has routed to screen 2. And one thing I forgot to mention, that Fluro router, you can define a custom transitions you can use a default transition and you can create your custom one as well. So to define a transition for specific widgets, just where you define the handler, after that you have another optional parameter, that is transition type. Here you can define transition type dot, and you are left with so many options. Let's say in from bottom. For this one, transition type, let's say fade in. Now restart the app. So this is my physical device. So at first you might not be able to see the transition, but when I've already navigated, you can see that transition. So if I go to second one, and when I come back, did you see the transition? The fade in effect? Yes, there is a fade in effect. Okay, so we are done with this part. Now we have to use how we can define, how we can pass a parameter onto this one. So to pass a parameter, let's say in the second page, I want a parameter, I want a single parameter that I will pass from first screen. So let's say I will pass my name. So in the function where you have defined the route, you have to pass a slash, and then you have to pass a colon, and after the colon, name your parameter. Let's say I name is at as name, and on the screen 2, let's say I pass it like params, since it is a map, params 0, and I will write the same name as name. Remove this constant. Oh, sorry. Name, and come to screen 2 and pass a function like string and name. Required this dot name. So you have to do this to define a single parameter. If you want multiple parameters, you can add slash and column. So I will restart the application. I will come to screen 1, and just where I entered the route name, I will define my parameter as slash, and let's say Mustafa. Hot reload, and we didn't show up the text. So here I will pass the name. So when I press go to second, oh, there is an error. Name method was called on null receiver. I think yes, I did a mistake. I have to use this. Now when I restart, and now when I press, so you can see my name has come onto the second page. So we have successfully integrated how we can pass a single parameter. If you want to pass multiple, you have to use it like add name 1, let's say, and I will use the same approach, name 1, come to the screen 1, and after a slash, maybe, oh, we didn't define on the second one. Name plus so a hot restart is required whenever you make any kind of change onto the router part. Once the app has been restarted, you can see both the names. Now here a question might arise that the Fluro parameter is of type map, string and dynamic. But what if I have multiple data types, list or integer or a double? So what can be used? So how can I pass these parameters? So this part is a bit tricky. We won't use the predefined parameters for map data types. Instead, we have to use here is model route. We will use model route. We will create another custom class that lets us get us to the other screens with different data types. So I will remove these params from screen 2. No need. And now to pass the parameters, yes, now to pass different data types, just before returning the screen 2, I will declare var model routes equals model route dot of context dot settings dot arguments. Now this requires an object, so that means we have to declare a class and we have to treat it as the class that we will define. So get rid of the error first, and I will declare the class, let's say here itself, or maybe we create another file, let's say custom class, and we would name custom class. So this class will have a string as the first parameter, which we will pass name, and second one, let's say list of a string, list. For the custom class, we would pass this dot name and this dot list respectively. Navigate to router, and after the arguments you will write as the custom class. Now once we have set up the arguments, we have to just pass these arguments. Now on the screen 2, I will create a parameter of data which will create, and on this data pass the model route, and navigate to screen 2 and create a custom class instance and name it as data. So this is a required parameter. We will make use of the required keyword and this dot data. It's time to restart. Now on the screen 1, remove the previous parameters, and once defined the route, there is another argument, another property of arguments, and on the arguments just define custom class we have to define two parameters here, string, and the other one was list. So for the string, let's say Flutter Fluro, and list might be 1, 2, and navigate to screen 2, create a column. We will display both these arguments. First for the string as data dot name, and for the list data dot list dot to list dot to string for simplicity. Hot reload, and when I press go to second, we have two parameters. So this is how you can pass your custom data type parameters in Flutter. So here I will conclude this video. I will wind up this video, and I do hope that you guys must have liked this video, and if you did, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. In addition, I have already jot down two Medium articles on Fluro Router. You can check out them as well. I will provide the link in the description. And guys, take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.